Good morning, 8th graders. So this is one of the other choose 3 Gizmo options that you have. This is weather maps. So this is a little bit more old school, getting used to how to look at a weather map that is a little less digitalized. So when you get into Gizmo, we need to find the weather maps one right here and then hit launch. I'm going to put it into full screen. So yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, it's more pixelated. It's a little bit more old school, but if you can understand this, holy Hannah, you should be a meteorologist. So, but we're just going to kind of dabble in it. First things first. So our prior knowledge questions, make sure you put your name on this, please. How would you describe your weather today? So if you were to look outside and say, hey, this is what's going on. Okay. Now, this is going to be different each day, like year that you potentially do this. Okay. So I am currently recording. It is 6:22 on April 12th, 2024. And it's early in the morning. The sun is just barely starting to peek out. So I'm going to just jump in here and I'm going to go to, because I'm currently in Horace. And if you have actually listened to this and you can tell me what day I have recorded this, and if you're listening to this in 2024, the time, then come up to me. I will give you a Chini cheer, or things like that. Okay. So here is what's going on currently in Horace, North Dakota at 6:22 on April 12th, 2024. So our temperature is going to be very similar to what it was yesterday. Yesterday was gorgeous. Little bits of rain, things like that. So let's take a look at the projection. Ooh, we're at 30 in pressure. And yesterday we just learned about what that means. So we typically sit at a 29.9 in air pressure, but we are up to 30.11, which means we got something a brewing. So the projection for today is it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy, high of 61, winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So what I'm going to just put here, beautiful day. So sunny to partly cloudy. Cloudy. High of 61 Fahrenheit. And then that's actually pretty minimal winds for us. Let's just be real. Okay. So that's what's going on today. So what information is important to include when you start to describe the weather? What are the things that you feel are important? To me, it is air temperature, okay. It's air temperature. It's winds, both direction, and speed. Okay, because we know here in North Dakota, like, wind determines life. Those are the things that matter to me most. Maybe you care, like if you are in an outdoor sport, maybe you care about the UV index, which is really good and important. I'm glad my pencil just ran out of lead. I'm glad you concern yourself with that, because that is what's like probably one of the most important things, especially for like pasty redheads like me. So like my UV index, it's going to be moderate. It's going to be about a 4. Our air quality is gorgeous. Granted, we're not in wildfire season yet and things like that. So that's great. Pollen, none. I don't believe them. I'm too stuffed up for that to happen. So yeah. So what are those things that are important to you? Okay. It's not what's important to G. It's what's important to you. Okay. So number 2 is going to vary depending on who's answering this question. Okay. The Gizmo warm-up. So data on weather conditions are gathered from weather stations all over the world. This information is combined with satellite and radar images to create weather maps that show current conditions. With the Weather Map Gizmo, you will use the information to interpret a variety of common weather patterns. So a weather station symbol shown at the right summarizes the weather conditions at a location. So number 1, the amount of cloud coverage is shown by filling in the circle. So this portion in particular. The black circle indicates completely overcast conditions, while a white semicircle indicates clear sky. While a white circle, holy goodness, indicates a clear sky. What percentage of cloud coverage is indicated by the symbol above? Well, we're at a 90-degree angle. You have a quarter of it like blacked out, which means that the amount of cloud coverage for this particular station is about 25%. So 25%. Okay, awesome. Look at the tail that is sticking out from the circle. The tail points to where the wind is coming from. So the wind is coming from the southwest. Lost my spot. Coming from. If the tail points north, a north wind is moving from north to south. So what direction is the wind coming from in the symbol above? Well, I have already said it. It is coming from a southwest direction. Okay. Southwest. Okay. The feathers, these are these little things sticking out, that stick out from the tail indicate the wind speed in knots. So 1 knot is about 1.852 kilometers per hour. A short feather represents 5 knots or half. Okay. And a long knot represents 10 knots. So 18.52 or 9.26. And a triangular feather stands for 50 knots or 92.6 kilometers per hour. Add the feathers to find the wind speed. So we have this first feather. I'm going to just write this down here so you guys know what I'm looking at. So that's 10. This is 10. And then this is 5. Okay. So we have 10 plus 10 plus 5. So we have 25 knots in this particular location. Now remember, when you write any numbers, you need to be adding their units, okay? So that I know that you are looking specifically at the wind speed for this one, okay? Pretty easy peasy, right? Obviously, things are going to get a little bit messier, but it looks like it's on the longer side, but there is a lot of spacing. So it's really probably only like 3 pages, but because of pictures and whatnot, it had to be spaced out more. As you work through this activity, so like the first one, it says click new until you see a high pressure symbol. Oh, sorry. Get the gizmo ready, click new unit until you get the high pressure symbol. Okay, so represented by an H. Turn on show mobile station B data. So there. And then turn on show land. So then we have to come down here and click show land. So now we're kind of seeing what's going on. Okay, so as you kind of watch through that, it then says like observe air pressure is equal to the weight of the column of air in a particular location. So for station B, note how the air pressure changes as you move station B toward the center of the high pressure system. So if I take this, you're just going to drag it. Okay, all of your data, let me just bring it down here, is right here. So we're looking at the pressure in millibars. Okay, this is very outdated sort of technology. Like I said, old school, versus we would be measuring this in inches of mercury or atmospheres. So if I take my station B, I hold it and I move it, you'll see that eventually it starts to increase the closer I get to the weather station or to the high pressure zone. Okay, versus when I move away, it goes back down. Okay, so those are the sorts of things that's going to have you do and just kind of make notes of what's going on. Okay, It's a fairly straightforward gizmo, but if you need any help, please ask your teachers. We're here to help. Let me know if you need anything. Awesome. Thank you, 8th graders.